What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we've got some news in the form of This Week at Bungie. Of course it is TWAB Day, but also it's Bungie Day, where Bungie take the opportunity to celebrate with the community. And so today they speak about charity initiatives and how we can get involved with that stuff, as well as some unique items and rewards at various different donation thresholds. And then there are also updates to the Bungie store with some curious new loot, exclusive items, and a couple of other things to talk about on that front. Safe to say there isn't a ton of gameplay news, but they do touch on the missing Artifice armor slot, as well as some known issues and a few other things which we'll talk about in the video. So as always guys, I hope you find this interesting, and without further delay, let's get into it. Initially we should say happy Bungie Day. And they start out in the TWAB by saying during last year's Bungie Day, we were celebrating 30 years of making games, and we put out a call for all players to share amazing stories around playing our games. So this year we want to hear from you all again, but centered around your stories as Guardians. They say we're asking everyone to share a short video in 1 minute or less, telling us about your story as a Guardian and who you are as a person. Consider this your Guardian profile and your chance to tell us about your favorite Destiny memories. And these can be submitted to Bungie, including on Twitter I believe, by using hashtag Guardian Profiles or hashtag Bungie Day Art. So if you feel like getting involved with that, could be pretty fun. It mainly makes me think about the very long evenings grinding new Destiny content, whether in more recent times at the launch of Witch Queen, or going all the way back to older raid launches, even Vanilla D2. I don't think I slept for 2 or 3 days basically trying to complete everything in the game. But the next thing Bungie share is the Cosplay Cosmodrome, and back in May they say they revealed our official Cosplay Cosmodrome, an initiative to show off how talented the community really are, and they've shared a ton of images of cosplayers as Savathun, and there are some really cool ones with a separate article if you want to take a look at any of those. The next Bungie say random act of kindness. For this Bungie Day, we want to offer some kindness back to our community, and a select few of you may have noticed a new emblem in your collections called Humanity's Chosen. And they say this is a small gesture of our appreciation. And they say in terms of what kindness we're talking about, whether it's donating money, curing the incurable, or inventing an online game with 0 trolls. But what we're talking about can encompass anything and everything, from looking out for new lights to being a positive voice in the community at large. No gesture is too small or too grand. It just needs to be genuine. And they say we only had a few of these emblems to give out this time around, but that doesn't mean that kindness should stop. So I guess they've already selected the folks that are going to receive that emblem, and you'll simply have to take a look in your collections to see if it's shown up. And the next thing Bungie talk about is the summer fundraising event. And so from July 7th to 20th, they say they'll shine the spotlight on many community members who have stepped up in big ways to support charitable efforts. And there's a link to a page where folks can make donations. Of course, various content creators and streamers are also taking part in the fundraising event, so you can do this via several different channels. But $10 donations will get the Circadian Guard emblem, $25 donations will get the exotic Buoyant Shell, and there's also a very cool Bungie emblem right there called 7 of 7, which is granted on $50 donations. Plus they show off some very cool emblems for fundraisers as well. And they say our support of this effort right now will help Bungie do meaningful work across children's health and well-being, humanitarian aid, and inclusion, diversity, and equity. And there's more information in the TWAB about how those donations will impact things. So that's linked down below. Also with it being Bungie Day, as always we're seeing a lot of new rewards in the Bungie store for sale. One that they've just released is a Hive Worm plushie. Plus there'll be various different discounts you can find in the store, and even the pre-order for the Nerf Galahorn. And they say orders of select items between now and July 13th will include the Heritage Eternal emblem, so be sure to take a look at various items on the store if you're interested in that. And also if you're interested, Bungie posted a trailer for the Nerf Galahorn, which you can find in the article as well. Final couple of things here, and Bungie talk about missing Artifice armor slots. And earlier in the season, players noticed an issue where there was a missing armor slot, and while the issue was fixed, unfortunately for those players who have already logged into the current season and have lost their Artifice armor sockets, a second trickier fix is currently in the works and requires some additional time. When this armor came under the spotlight, we found that under certain circumstances, armor pieces would lose their Artifice sockets. And this happened because as the seasons turn over, the Artifice mods are stripped from the socket, and with nothing else in the slot to replace it, the socket attempts to resolve itself in a way that causes the aspect of the armor to become hidden. We're working on a fix to ensure that everything registers as intended, but these little sockets are craftier than they appear. And they give a couple of further explanations, but essentially, it will be fixed. It's just going to take a while longer. And otherwise, despite not having a currently scheduled update to the game, they say for known issues, but the Investigator and Gumshoe rare armor sets are incorrectly appearing as available to unlock for armor synthesis when not acquired in collections. Also, the Arc Siphon does not successfully count as an Arc mod for activating secondary perks on Arc charged with light mods. And then Dialogue for Nessus patrols may not successfully play on patrol activation. Raoul is displaying incorrect error messages when players attempt to acquire certain items with a full inventory, and players who haven't picked up Prime Gaming items from Amanda's inventory for several jobs can't view her inventory anymore. And so that does it for the TWAB section. Once again, not a ton of gameplay stuff right there, but certainly some good incentives and causes. So again, the TWAB is linked below. Some very final things to mention in the video today, but as you may have noticed, we've continuously seen updates about Bungie expanding and hiring directors for various different pieces of Destiny content, not only in terms of delivering gameplay, but also expanding Destiny into other media formats. The Destiny Bulletin have tweeted that Bungie are hiring a narrative director for the Destiny franchise. And interestingly, it says in this role, you will align narrative leadership around the future vision for the Destiny universe, firmly planting stakes in the ground for fans to enjoy for decades to come. Of course, that's very interesting that Bungie are talking about a much longer timeline for the Destiny universe in general. And also importantly, this isn't referring simply to the game, but overseeing the universe of storytelling across multiple platforms, working with internal teams and external partners. Again, further indicating that Bungie have a lot of plans, but also to continue to tell stories about Destiny, be it in the game or even upcoming titles, things like the possibility of a Destiny-related mobile game, which is something else we've discussed recently, as there are rumors that Bungie are working on something like that. And so that in itself is pretty interesting, but also Destiny Bulletin tweeted that Lauren Topol, who works on The Mandalorian, as well as Wall-E, Up, and The Tomorrow War, has now joined Bungie as a senior producer for transmedia projects. And so as time goes by, of course, Bungie are hiring folks who have a lot of very high-level experience in production, animation, TV, and more. So obviously, in the long term, there is going to be some connectivity between these various different projects that we're kind of getting teases that Bungie are working on at the moment. And so I just thought they were worth a mention, and I'll link a couple of articles from thegamepost.com down in the description box if you want to look into them a bit more. But otherwise, guys, that's everything we have to speak about in the video today. So I hope it's been interesting as always. Once again, happy Bungie Day. And if you've enjoyed the video, be sure to get subscribed and turn on notifications so I can keep you posted with more Destiny info in the future. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.